Hey, what's up?
Ready for book club?
I am obsessed.
This is the worst.
What do you mean?
What? No, idiot.
Welcome to book club. Welcome to book club. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to book club. What the fuck is going on today?
I actually wanted to do a little bit of a yap-isode today because I thought it would be good to talk about TBR stress.
I did a little yap about this on TikTok the other day, and it's real.
Yeah, it's very real. I think I was noticing it when I was doing some YouTube video research, because if you have not watched our first YouTube video on our new channel, you should go watch that. It will be linked below. The channel's just called Carrie and Maddie. But we're gonna do book stuff on there, so definitely go watch it.
More booktube instead of just yapping.
Yeah, so we'll have the podcast, we'll have a regular booktube channel, but I was looking for some ideas for videos, and I noticed even I was getting stressed out. I wasn't even focusing on reading, and I was getting stressed out that I was like, shit. There was this one girl, a lot of people do jar guesses, or jar gives me my TBR.
Oh, yeah,
and they pull up little papers or sticky notes that say of all their books that they haven't read in their entire full ass library that they somehow own. Sorry if you hear my dogs barking. Nugget, I don't want to hear it. Stop. Anyway. And it's pick a book that you meant to read last year, or pick a book that starts with the letter A or something like that. And I'm like, first of all, how do you have so many books?
I don't have that many unread books.
No, literally. And the thing is, too, is that we don't have full libraries. I know that the big people in book talk, especially booktubers,
have a whole fucking room and 3 walls of books.
They've been doing it. They've been back into reading for 3 or 4 years. They got years on us. And
some people
started.
I've noticed there are some book talk, booktube, bookstagram creators, and I'm jealous of them. Don't let this message fool you. I am jealous of them, but there are some who never got out of reading. There are some people who are oh, I've just been reading since middle school. So they have their middle school books, their high school books. They're I got out of reading. I didn't really read books unless I was required to in high school. And for those books, I don't have my required reading. There are a few that I liked from high school that I kept, but all of the other books, I did not keep them. I donated them after I finished them, which was fucking dumb. Now, looking back on it. But I didn't keep those books.
I remember packing to go to college and was I'm not bringing all these books.
Yeah,
I'm did buy books.
I did a clean out bookshelf because I feel everybody has books going into middle school and high school because I mean I did enjoy reading in middle school and high school, or middle school, not in high school. And I had books, but I did a severe clean out of my shelf.
Yeah, I feel that's the norm too for most book talk, and even then, when they did get back into reading, they did it in 2020.
Right.
And I wasn't doing that in 2020. I was doing that little renegade dance.
No, literally.
That's what I was doing in 2020. No, I was doing that in baking bread.
I was in the fucking instant coffee. The whipped coffee.
Oh, yes, the whipped coffee. I was making bread.
And I was writing sad songs because I was sad.
Yeah. And I really wish that I had gotten into reading back then, but I didn't. And so it does feel sometimes we're late to the game. But what kind of stressed me out is this one girl I was watching, she was talking about how she has been in a reading slump. And to me, when I'm in a reading slump, that means I have not finished a book in at least 2 weeks, if not 3 weeks. Some there was 1 month last year that I think I read a book and a half in the entire month, and this girl was talking about how she read 3 books, and she was this is the lowest book month for me. My norm is crazy. 7 books. She said the sweet spot for me is 7 books a month. Do you not have a job?
Maybe don't.
Which, like,
I'm
I
so
am
jealous
I
of
want
the
that.
people who have
want
like
that.
BookTube as their job. How does it feel to live my
and
dream?
that's what we're no, literally, and that's what we're trying to do. But like, even just reading for fun, like,
I do so many other things. I don't think I could, even if I didn't have, like, I have not even a 40-hour job week. I have a 45-hour job, like, working week.
Fuck your job.
Like, I work for 45 hours a week. And even if I had those 45 hours free, I still don't know that I'd read 7 books a month.
And even then, like, it got to a point where, like, we are currently in like a book club with like some other friends, like a personal book club. And I would argue that you and I, like, even though we do book club, the channel, we have the BookTube channel, we do all our stuff on TikTok and Instagram, we read the least amount of books.
Yeah.
Compared to every other person in our book club. And I'm like, shit, how are y'all finding the time to do this? And it feels like there's pressure to like get all these books read. And like I posted a thing too when Onyx Storm was about to come, when it had just been released and people had gone to the midnight releases and they had read the book in 12 hours.
Right.
That I was like, hey, if anybody else is feeling this way, it's okay. Like, the point of one of the great things about books is that you have them forever. And if you're reading a series, they normally take a really, really long time to get the next book in the series out. Like, you're supposed to have a long time to read it or reread it or have it on your shelf and then pick it up. Like, but it's also so easy when everyone's on TikTok to feel behind.
Yeah. Call me crazy, but like, personally, I enjoy being able to like and I'm not saying like take my time, like, 3-4 weeks, because it just took me one of the books I just finished. It had taken me almost, I think maybe over 3 weeks to finish Project Hail Mary. And like, the book ended up being good, but sorry if you can hear Brian leaf blowing. But 3 weeks is
what the hell? Tell him to stop leaf blowing.
He's doing nightstands. I can't tell him to stop. I've been asking for nightstands for 2 years. Okay, I finally got them.
That's gonna be. If I can hear it through your computer speaker, that's gonna be loud as hell.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Okay, I fixed it.
Okay, cool.
But like, I like to take my time. Like with Kingdom of Ash, I'm not reading. Like, I cannot read a book like that I am so emotionally invested in. Same with Onyx Storm. I will not read it in one sitting. I won't. Yeah. I won't.
No, and here's the thing. I do think that there is a sweet spot for us, anyways, for like how much time is taking too much time to read a book where you end up getting like disconnected from it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, like, versus they're like, if I could go back and redo my first ACOTAR read, I would slow down significantly from Mist and Fury on, because like, we flew through those books and I'm like, shit, I wish I had like taken a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Cause like Kingdom of Ash, like we're not even to part 2 yet. And we've been reading it for what, a week and a half?
Yeah. A week and a half.
Yeah. And I'm like, I could probably read it a little bit faster. I've just been like working a lot, but like, if I read that all in one sitting, I would like, our book club was reading. We were reading Throne of Glass together as a book club originally. And then everybody just read ahead of me and Maddie. And then we did like the tandem read with our book club. And then all of a sudden they were like, we finished the tandem read and we also read Kingdom of Ash. Cool. Let me tell you how that pisses me off. It makes me so frustrated because I'm like, oh, I felt peaceful knowing that I was setting a pace. We were all gonna like do it in this time frame. We could all talk about it. I don't want to talk about it with someone who's already finished it. Sorry. Yeah. Like, that's not fun for me. I'm scared of spoilers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then it also like, I am the kind of person that like, I have to like talk myself out of it because I'll get stressed out and I'll be like, I'm behind. Everybody else has already read all these millions of series. that I also want to read, and they're talking about it and I can't talk about it, and I feel behind, and I have all these books on my shelf that I want to read, but all these new books I want to read. And then I'm like, shit, how are people finding the time for all of this? How are you reading 7 books a month every single month?
And
that's crazy.
I really just think, like, I saw a TikTok, and I think it was fake, but it was like, you know, in December when all of the TikTokers, booktubers, bookstagrammers were doing their yearly wrap up. If you look me dead, or look your camera dead in the fucking face, in my eyes, and you tell me you read over 150 books, I am going to knock your ass out. If someone came up to me and I'm just like in public or like at a bookstore and I'm just talking and they were like, well, I read 150 books. Nope. You KO'd. TKO. Get the fuck up out of my face with that bullshit. That pisses me off. And I am all for people doing like whatever they want. But when you're telling me you read 300, like there was somebody on the internet who tried to say that there were multiple people who tried to say they read over 300 books. You're reading a book a day? Do you have a life? Do you do anything else?
Also, you know what drives me crazy too on BookTube? Maddie and I really, really try very extremely hard to not DNF books. We were doing really, really good with not DNFing the book club ones, and then we've had one or two that in the past, you know, couple months that we were like, okay, we couldn't finish that one. Yeah. Mostly Sally Rooney. Fuck that bitch. Well, fuck that bitch's books, actually. I'm sure she's nice, whatever. But I get so pissed when people like they do their like yearly wrap up or monthly wrap up and they're like, I read 20 books this month. No, you didn't. I DNF'd 10 5 of them.
So you didn't read 20 books.
So you didn't read them.
And
so
also,
you didn't read them.
When people are like, I DNF'd 30 pages in. What the fuck is the matter with
No,
Why
also, the thing is, okay, actually,
you didn't even give the book a chance.
I would argue that a solid DNF is where you could still put it on your shelf, still count it as a read, is when you get if you can get to 75% of the book and then you decide to DNF it, by all means, you can count that because that's normally still like, that's majority of the book. It's over half of it and you still didn't like it. Okay. But if you got 5 chapters in and you were like, it didn't really catch my attention, then you didn't read it. And that's fine.
And also you're not good at reading and you don't have a good attention span and probably go to the doctor.
I do think that you can read a book because there's one singular romance book on my shelf that I started reading. Like at the time I was super, super depressed when I was trying to read a book. I was trying to just read anything and I got about 5 or 6 chapters in and I just ended up never picking it back up.
What book?
To me, that stays on my TBR. That does not count as a read or a DNF. Right. It stays on my TBR, and if I decide that I'm not going to read that book, I'm donating it.
Yeah. What book is it?
Booked on a Feeling. It's just like it's literally like a 250-page rom-com.
Okay.
I just like I think it was over the summer and we picked up like an Emily Henry book or something after that, and Emily Henry really gets me hooked. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I wasn't really focused on it. I just I didn't intentionally not finish it. Like it's just on my shelf. But again, I'm not even 10% of the way into the book. I'm not counting that as a read book. Mm-hmm. And I understand that like thumbnails and titles on YouTube look better and on TikTok it looks better the more books that you have. But I just don't think that it's realistic, and I don't think that book talk and bookstagram is really like it. Sometimes it feels like they're like making it seem like, oh, you haven't read this book yet. Okay, relax. There's like hundreds of thousands of books,
billion books in the world.
Like, could you relax? And like, you have to read this. I'm like, okay, if you're talking to your friend and you're like, oh my god, when you get a chance you need to read this book, totally get it, totally fine. But like, there are some people that are just like, wow, you're late to the game. That's rude. Yeah. That's rude. That's a rude energy to put out.
It's rude and also tacky.
Yeah, I agree. And it makes people stressed out, and it's like not fun. Like I saw one girl on TikTok and I was like, oh, this is such a breath of fresh air, where it was literally like a week ago, and she was like, finally getting around to Onyx Storm. Thank you. Okay, that is very realistic. Like,
yeah.
there's so much pressure that's like, oh, you have to read this so that you don't get FOMO, so that you're not left out of the conversation. But it's like one thing I have noticed that I've been, sorry if you can hear Dylan coughing, he's sick.
You can't.
But one thing I've noticed after, like, I've been on YouTube, YouTube's been my job for a really long time, and so like and it's been Dylan's job for a really long time, so I've seen trends and like kind of how they work out. And like a lot of the times it's like, oh, when this movie comes out, when this trend comes out, you have to get on it, you have to make all the content you can about it, because in 2 weeks another movie will come out, another trend will come out, and then you have to get on that one. But with books, I noticed specifically with Onyx Storm that I have liked is that, like, yes, leading up to Onyx Storm, every TikToker, every Instagrammer, like YouTuber was trying to get out as much like Onyx Storm theories,
content,
Fourth Wing Iron Flame recap, stuff like that. And it was like a little hectic where it's like, oh, we got to get this out. But then once the book came out, it significantly lowered, because the priority at the end of the day was still no spoilers. I don't think it's like I don't think right now you could get on, if you got into Book Talk today, you would probably find some ACOTAR spoilers. You'd probably find some Throne of Glass spoilers. You'd probably find some Fourth Wing and Iron Flame.
Yeah.
But I think it takes there's like a much longer like grace period of like, hey, even though some people read 70 million books a month, there is still a grace period for like, okay, some people haven't read it yet and we don't want to spoil it. So like I've noticed that there are certain like TikToks or whatever that they actually they do better now than they did right when the book first came out, because people were skipping right past it because they don't want spoilers. That's what I do.
Yeah.
When I'm reading a book, that's what I had to do for like the first like week and a half that we were trying to like get into Onyx Storm. I was like, oh, I can't see that. Oh, I can't see that. Because like I don't want to see spoilers, and everyone gets pissed. If you were somebody who posted an Onyx Storm spoiler the day after it came out, everyone hated your guts. Because relax, that's putting a lot of pressure on it. And if there's one thing that doesn't fall into like a cozy reading environment, it's pressure and stress. So what do you mean you got to the end of 2024 and you said that you read 150 books? No, you didn't.
I don't believe you. Like,
I believe
maybe that makes me a bitch, but like I don't believe those people.
I think you DNF'd maybe not most of them, but
a significant amount, a good fucking chunk for sure.
And I'm also talking like there are the outliers of the people who like are either unemployed or quite literally reading is their job. But I love BookTube, and I'm very excited about a BookTube channel. I love Book Talk. I love Bookstagram and all of our friends that we've made.
That's one thing that I will say. The community that we have, like all of the mutuals that me and Carrie have.
Yeah.
Those women and there's amazing. Like, I don't know, maybe 5 boys that we're mutuals with. But like the people that we are mutuals with are so chill.
So good.
They're so good.
The first time that I've ever had like a community on the internet.
Yeah.
That I've been like, this is so nice.
It's
like,
so fun.
It's not just somebody trying to like big dick you. It's like, oh, we're just reading books.
No, but there are like some people a good time. No, there definitely are that vibe. Some, like there is like I think a toxic corner of book.
Almost gives like
it's like of any community though. Like there is always a toxic corner. Like
no, I agree.
I saw a TikTok the other day, and listen, I might get canceled later on for saying this, but some artists, some authors, some actors, some actresses, at the end of the day, are just problematic and are just not who we want them to be as people. that doesn't make their talent or craft any less enjoyable.
Yes, I agree.
In my opinion. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
No, I agree.
But
I think there are some artists that cross lines for me that I'm like, okay, I will in no way support what they're doing. But there are times where I'm like, okay, if somebody just has a bad attitude that I don't like, there are people that think I have a bad attitude and don't like me.
Literally.
Fuck you. I don't care.
No,
I didn't do any, like, I didn't like curse your bloodline.
Right. Like, they're
so,
not.
like, I don't care that much.
Like,
if you're like Chris Browning people, then yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you. I don't like Chris Brown. Like, I think he's a terrible person. You turn on Wall to Wall, I am going to shake my ass. Like, I'm sorry. Wall to Wall comes on in the club. I'm getting crunk. Like, I am going to lose.
You're hitting that Taylor Swift crunk.
Yeah, I'm doing the stanky leg in the club. Like,
yeah,
you know,
with a bottle of champagne.
A bottle of champagne, bottle of champagne in the right, glass of champagne in the left, and the leg is stanky. You know what I mean? Same with Kanye. I do not fucking like I would lick Taylor Swift's toes. Like, I love Taylor. I love Taylor. I do not like Kanye.
No.
You turn on Power.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, they're not politicians for a reason.
Right. And like,
they're
saw
not world leaders for a reason.
Right.
And if you treat them like one, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not trusting them with my life or to lead my country or my state or even my city. I'm letting them play on a Spotify playlist occasionally. They're not even leading the Spotify charts on my personal Spotify. Like, you know, and like same with like SJM and Rebecca. And there's another one that I can't think of. She's a very popular book talk author. I can't remember. But I saw people having discourse the other day on TikTok, and they were like, if I see someone who makes a book talk video or booktube video and they have ACOTAR on their shelf, I'm not watching their video. Oh, so you don't my enjoy fucking things? God. Are you dead ass fucking serious? Fun? Are you dead ass fucking serious? Because they support the genocide, and like that's the controversy with SJM.
Can I just say something here where I think that people who read books, fantasy books specifically, and they look for things to be an innuendo for something controversial, or like they're looking at it and they're like, oh, like I can understand if an author is writing something with the intention for it to replicate or give an innuendo or tell a story in a way of like racism or oppression. Like it kind of, when we read Shadow and Bone, kind of gave that vibe a couple of times where that was clearly the intention of like, hey, these certain towns are against these kinds of people for X, Y, and Z, whatever.
Yeah.
But there are people who get in, like they read ACOTAR and they look for anything controversial that they can find, and they're like, this author must be racist. I'm sorry. Excuse the fuck out of me.
And also,
but how many of the High Lords are
men of color?
Right? I think 2. And one of them is a little bitch that everybody makes fun of. So,
yeah. And the only white guy is gay.
Is he? I didn't even think, from the fan art, I didn't even think he was
white. The little ice guy, the Winter Court guy.
Oh wait, the Winter Court guy.
No,
he's not. That's
nope. I'm lying. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
The fairy with the pond where they all sit around in Day Court. The Dawn Court. It's him.
I haven't read ACOTAR in so long.
It's Dawn Court
that I've forgotten.
And he's like, all the fan art I've seen of him, he's fucking fabulous. Okay,
I'm obsessed with him.
The people that try to get on the internet and say Sarah J. Maas is clearly racist, she's out of touch.
Also, it's fake.
It's
do
fake.
I need to hold your hand
fake.
when I say it doesn't fucking exist? It's not fucking real.
It's fake.
Like there are some authors. Do you guys remember reading books in high school that actually had the N-word in them? Because I do.
Yeah, literally.
That's a little bit, to me, that seems a little bit more problematic than
a fantasy fairy
than
world?
a fake world. You know?
No, literally. Okay, I'm going to say another thing. Maybe I might get controversial here. Just let me cook.
Okay.
I totally understand why people do not want to support J.K. Rowling, and I am not saying that you should. But the way that I had seen, especially a couple years ago, whenever like the new Harry Potter video game came out or whatever, and it like got all resurfaced where everybody was hating J.K. Rowling.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a millennial who back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s, got a Death Eater tattoo. I know a couple. I went to college with a couple of fucking millennials that have Death Eater tattoos.
That's crazy work.
It is crazy, but it's not like a racial slur on your arm. They were big geeky Harry Potter fans in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they got a fucking snake and skull tattoo. Like, it's the same way that, like, if you were a big geeky fan of Divergent, you probably have the Divergent tattoos. You probably have the birds. You probably have the birds. Is it cringe? Yes. Does it make them a racist? No.
Not inherently.
Sue me. You're not inherently racist.
Yeah.
Because you were a geeky Harry Potter fan.
I mean, if
2000s.
you cannot see the correlation at a
for
little embarrassing.
That was a book that it was very intentional. Like, it was clearly Draco was throwing some slurs at Hermione. Yes. Okay. But don't you all read the Hermione fanfic? Let's be real.
No, everybody loves Hermione. And also, like, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, I don't like J.K. Rowling as a person.
No.
Like,
I am not justifying that at all.
Like, what I said about like the artist, like, you can enjoy a craft made by someone. You can enjoy the work put out by someone and not support them as a human. Like,
and I'm gonna say this too.
Do I support everything that Sarah J. Maas has ever said about the war in Gaza? No. Am also, I going to finish Kingdom of Ash? Yes.
Yes, do I love her? Absolutely. Do I think that the very millennial post releasing books when like crazy shit's happening in the world and being like, here's some light for your day,
fresh air.
When there's a court case going on,
when there are dead people,
that's out of touch.
It is out of touch.
It really is.
But
I get it.
Have you met a millennial?
Also, they're fucking human, for one. They're human, probably. Have you ever met a theater kid?
Oh,
have you ever met a grown-up theater kid? There's never been a group that's more out of touch than them. Like, have you ever met a fucking D&D high school geek? Yeah. That's who's writing your books, babe.
They're little, like...
They write fantasy worlds for a reason. They're not very in touch with the real one. Aren't we all trying to be doing that?
It's also really funny to me when, like, people who were, you know, like, maybe peaked in high school, like the jocks and the cheerleaders and like the really popular people, when they like peak, or like we're really popular in high school. I'm not going to say they peaked. That's a really bitchy thing to say.
Well, some of them.
But like, some of them. But like the people who, like, when they grow up and they're like lusting after the white boy of the month, maybe like, you know, Timothée Chalamet, and then all of these videos of Timothée Chalamet come out when he was in high school and he was being a fucking freak, and it's like, yeah babe, all of your favorite actors and actresses in Hollywood, they were the theater kids that you fucking bullied.
Actually, you know what I did hear? I heard that the guy who played Damon or whatever in Vampire Diaries, he actually, I think, was cool
in high school.
Yeah, he was probably, I think he was hot and cool and then did Vampire Diaries.
Well,
so
because
like,
if you are already famous, then like he was pretty young in Vampire Diaries.
He was like a teenager or something.
So like, you know, if you're already like on the up and up, like then it's cool. But like I saw a quote the other day. I told you about it. It was like, you're always delusional until you make it. And then everybody thinks you're cool. Everybody makes fun of you on the way there. And then you like do something cool. And everybody's like, wow, that's actually really, fuck you.
Like, wow,
Weren't you being a dick to me?
Yeah, literally. Like, no, it's like what Sabrina Carpenter said in her new song 15 Minutes. When did all these bitches get so nice?
Literally. Right. Everybody wants to make fun of you and everybody wants to talk shit about you behind your back until you do something that they think is cool. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, congratulations. Get the fuck up out of my face.
Get out of my face.
Bye.
You little geek.
Bye.
Weirdo. But yeah, no, I just think that
but it is in human nature to make mistakes and be a little weird.
Yes.
Like everybody's weird and wrong sometimes, and we all do dumb shit. Like I've said and done some dumb shit in my day. I'm only 24. I am going to, unfortunately,
can you imagine
continue to do dumb shit.
everybody that tries to cancel people or tries to be like, oh, you shouldn't read, like, ACOTAR's so basic. ACOTAR's so this. Book Talk only puts out the most basic books that aren't even good. Okay. Go back to your fucking goblin porn in your fantasy books. You can have that. I don't need it. I'll stick to my High Lords. Okay? Kiss my ass. But I genuinely think that they are just so fucking uptight. Most of them were born post 2002. By time we get to our 40s, like Rebecca Yarros and Sarah J. Maas, do you know how many things we're going to look back on and be like, that was embarrassing. Yeah. That was really stupid that we did that, actually.
Also, can you imagine, like, I mean, it's not like, you know, authors are fucking A-list celebrities most of the time. But like, can you imagine just existing day to day and having the majority of your life be in the public eye and like constantly everybody's trying to find something that you're doing wrong just to...
There are so many things that I did that were fucking stupid, and I could not be more grateful that there is no documentation of it. I could not be more... There are plenty of things that I'm like, fuck, I hate that there's documentation of that.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that I wasn't on Instagram, like, consistently in middle school.
Oh my God, yeah.
The shit that I would have posted. God forbid it had been legal to get tattoos at the age of 14.
No.
The tattoos I would have. And honestly, I've got a lot of tattoos now. I'm sure I'm going to get to my fucking 40s and 50s and be like, yeah, I don't love that tattoo. It's on me. Don't love it. I already have those, and I'm 25.
I was going to say, I've got some tattoos on me that I'm like, could do without. But like,
yeah.
Like, what
whatever
can you do?
Whatever.
It's not like, you know.
And you know what I also think, too, that I've been seeing? My theory is that Rebecca Yarros and the Empyrean series is going to become the new Twilight for like this generation when the movies come out, or if they're doing a TV show, whatever. It's with the midnight releases and everything, it's going to become the new Twilight just because it's happening. The production of it on screen is happening faster than the production of, like, say, ACOTAR. But
ACOTAR got canceled.
I know it did. But everybody loved Twilight, and people didn't really talk much about the books. My oldest sister was like the peak Twilight audience. And as soon as it became popular in the media and everything to that scale, suddenly the books are trash. Everybody hates them. It's so cringy. It's only women who like this stuff. This is so stupid.
You know what?
Right. So tell me you hate women. Just tell me you hate women.
Fucking thank you. I've got a bone to pick with people who fucking put Game of Thrones on a goddamn pedestal, but sit here and they're like, Sarah J. Maas is terrible. She's the worst person ever. There is child grape in Throne of Glass. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. I will not be having discourse with you if you're going to sit here and you're going to not recognize any shitty thing that 99% of the men do.
Also, I've got another thing. Don't even get me started on, oh, well, it was just like the only show of its kind and blah, 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 blah. Have you seen Outlander?
No, fucking literally.
Outlander covers a lot of dark topics, a lot of danger, a lot of gore, a lot of war. It's more historically actually existed for the most part. And it's not like Game of Thrones.
Mm-mm.
So
and like there's some
I know that on
and...
Book Talk there are Game of Thrones fans, and that's totally fine. Like what you like, but don't use it as a weapon to shit on other things, specifically that other women like. Okay, you don't have to make yourself miserable. You can read things for fun. You can between TBR stress and pressure to like read all the books on the planet and also be politically correct and not read anything or consume anything that could make anybody get their feelings hurt. Oh my God. Could everybody take a deep breath? It's like, not that fucking serious. We're reading about fake stories. Like, have you ever had a fun moment in your life? Have you ever enjoyed anything?
And I'm sure
have you ever been to fucking Disney World? Like, relax.
I'm sure to some people, I don't personally watch Game of Thrones, but I'm sure it is a fucking cool show. I just like can't do... Outlander is almost
that
too
gore,
that
for aggression can't do it.
Outlander
Personally.
is almost too much for me. So I just like can't.
There's some shit with Outlander that
I have to like. When I was watching season 1, I had to Google graphic scenes, and I would fast forward. I just can't do that. Personally, it makes my stomach queasy. I am a baby. I can't do violent, bloody, gory graphic scenes like that. That's just whatever. So I definitely like couldn't do Game of Thrones, but like the concept of the show does seem fucking sick. I think it is probably so fucking awesome, and I bet the books are well written, but I just cannot get behind people.
It's the fan base.
Right.
It's the fan base. The specific section of the fan base that hate on women enjoying any, like, if you're a man and you read fantasy books or anything like that, like, or even play D&D. We play D&D.
Yeah.
Okay? If you like, but men like that a lot of the times, and I am gonna fucking generalize here because I'm speaking on my experience and Maddie's experiences and a lot of women's experiences. So if you don't resonate with it, that's fine. But a lot of women do. That the men that are into fantasy hate women who are also into fantasy. They don't like their version of fantasy. Or when it's like Rebecca Yarros posted something the other day that was like, hey, just by the way, romance and sex in fantasy books isn't fucking new at all. Women did not like create this phenomenon. They aren't like, it's been being consumed for years and years and years and years, decades.
Now we're just like, we just openly talk about it. Also, like, sex isn't something that's fucking taboo. Sex with a child is taboo and also illegal and fucking weird. So like that being a thing in books, I wholeheartedly disagree with personally. But like, it's not taboo.
I'm
it's
talking
not
on
weird.
Page. Like,
like it's
like,
not. If grown women enjoying reading about romantic,
God forbid we read about a man who's so down bad for a woman that he doesn't just buy her flowers one time and call it good enough. God forbid.
No, God forbid. Literally. Like,
God forbid we read about women training and battling and being strong.
And being strong.
War.
And like, these are not new concepts. They are not. And like, women have been reading romance books for decades, centuries. It's just not a new thing. And I don't understand. Like, it makes me so angry.
It's like when people just like don't
take
want
women
other
and they make us the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Why are you making us the butt of the joke? It's not funny. Nobody's laughing. If you're going to make jokes, you need to punch up.
Literally.
And men have a very hard time punching up because, well, if you're a white man, oftentimes there's nothing to punch up at other than other white men. Yeah. And they have a very hard time like coming to terms
and other
with
white
the fact
men
that
love to make fun of women with each other. But like the thing is, I love jokes. I love a good joke. I don't get my feelings hurt at jokes if it's funny. But if you are giving me a joke in poor taste and then getting thinking that I'm sensitive because I didn't laugh at it. Babe, maybe look inward. Maybe
Your
the joke wasn't funny.
Your joke was not funny.
I have seen comedians make plenty of jokes about women that have been funny.
Right.
And I've been, like, you know what? That's funny as shit. You got me. But when somebody's just like, women, eat glass.
Yeah. Like that one guy, I don't even remember his name. That's how irrelevant
With
he
the
is.
lips?
No,
With the lips?
You're thinking of the guy who looks like he was sucked off by the Monsters Inc. guy. Yeah, he was on Wild and Out, and he made that terrible fucking joke about women. He hosted like the Oscars, I think, or the Emmys, and Taylor Swift was there. And he was like, Joe Coy. But he made that joke, and he was like, we won't cut to Taylor Swift as much. It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. Nobody's
I would argue
laughing.
the best part of the Grammys was cutting to Taylor Swift.
No, literally.
Even if I was to try and separate myself from Swifties, I would. But if I was to try to, I would still argue that maybe the best part of the Grammys.
You know what? When men are like, Taylor Swift ruined football. Good. I hope she ruins more of the things that you like, because men have been ruining everything for women for so long. I've had enough. I've had enough.
And the thing is, I think that's the theme, is that women have decided
Can we have
they don't
one
give
thing?
a shit anymore. So it's like, I see so many, I love the TikToks that's like, statistics say that men don't like it when women do this and this and this. And then it cuts to the woman doing exactly that and some, because actually my goal is to repulse you.
I'm not trying. I don't want, like, actually, men don't like it.
I don't want to be perceived by you. I don't want you to look at me. I don't want anything to do with you.
I want you to walk by me and
feel fear in your heart, in your soul.
I want you to
think, damn, she's crazy.
That bitch has a gun. I do have a gun. I'll take it out, bitch. This is
I want them to be like, hey,
in an open carry state. Like, I will. I
want them to look at me. I know that I'm 5 foot and 120 pounds, but I want somebody to look at me and think, don't give her a dull spoon.
I will shank your ass.
That's a weapon.
Literally.
I'll shave it down with my teeth.
Biting on it.
I'll gnaw on that shit. I'll put you through a wall.
No, literally.
Not by sheer force, but because I'll attack you. I will, or hear me out. I'll hire someone to.
And have you seen that trend? It's all over TikTok right now. The run like a girl trend.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna have to show you some. But it's like, because for so long it's been like, oh, running like a girl is a bad thing.
Yeah, you know who's like the poster child for women not giving a fuck about men? Alona Mayer.
Oh my God, I love that woman.
I love that woman. I love that woman.
I love all women. I love you.
But I really love that woman.
I really just love all women. But like Alona specifically, yeah.
Is the most badass.
But I'm sorry, when was
one
the
of the most
last
badass
time
women I've ever seen?
When was the last time a man ran for his life? And riddle me this, what was he running from?
A tsunami, maybe?
Right. Because women do run for their lives. Women do run for their lives. And oftentimes what they're running from, it's not a bear. It's not a tsunami.
I'd rather run from a bear. I'd actually rather I wouldn't run.
You know, it's different because if you, most bears, well, some bears, I don't know which ones, but if you like stand up and go, at a bear, some of them will actually turn around and run away. You do,
those bears
to
are like,
man.
you're weird. I don't like
the
you.
bear's like, your vibes are fucking rancid. Goodbye. I'm not dealing with that today. You do that to a man, they're going to do everything in their power to unalive you. So.
Yeah. And they might anyways, even if you don't.
Yeah. Like,
there have been times, and I know that other women can relate to this. There have been times that I walked for my life because I didn't want
you can't run
to escalate any situations where has a man ever had to walk for his life?
Do you even know what that feels
speed
like?
Walk around a corner?
You even know what that means?
You ever had to like quickly walk into the closest gas station you can find?
Find any other human that's not like find any
You ever
other
had to
woman in the general
have you
vicinity.
ever had to have a fake phone call?
Have you ever had to fake make friends with a girl group in public because men are being creepy?
Have you ever seen another man and think, I have to help him? And you go pretend
pretend to be
with
best
a man
friends with
you've
him?
never met?
No. No, it doesn't fucking happen. Ugh. God, it makes me so fucking angry. Like sometimes I'll think like, you know, actually no, I've never thought maybe I should be less aggressive. I've literally never thought that, not once in my life. But sometimes I get on one and I'm like, wow, I want to, like I was telling Brian the other day, I was getting really worked up about, you know, I was just going on I don't even know what I saw, but I saw something, made me go on one of my little feminist rants inside, you know, our kitchen. And Brian's just sitting there like, Jesus, what the hell are you even talking about? And I'm sitting here like, and also, let me just say this. And Brian's like, okay. And then I looked at him and I was like,
talking about the female rage.
Yeah. And I was like, I want a punching bag. You need to go buy a punching bag for me because I'm about to start punching and hitting. Like that's how angry I get sometimes when I think about the shit that men have put women through. And yeah. I am a white woman. Like, I have so much privilege. No, I cannot imagine the rage that, like, a woman of color feels.
No, literally.
Ooh, I get so angry on behalf of women. And
the thing is like, I don't give a shit. Even if there are women out there who are like, that doesn't resonate with me. Good for you.
I'm so glad.
I'm so happy for you. I
hope Kyle with the fucking from the Marines and the anger issues who's punching the drywall, I hope he picks you and you get a gaudy ass terrible engagement ring. Fuck you.
I hope you get your engagement ring from the Walmart clearance section.
Yeah, fucking go get a Kohl's engagement ring. It has 18.
It's not actually. Like, it's just a hot glued on rhinestone.
It's from Claire's. Like I just no, I don't. I'm so glad that
like I don't
actually,
care.
No,
I don't.
I'm not
care
glad that they
like,
don't resonate. But like it also makes me angry when women are like, I'm not a feminist. What the hell? What do you mean?
What the hell do you mean?
What the hell do you mean? What the hell are you talking about? No, I actually don't think I deserve rights. I don't think I'm equal to my husband. That's fucking weird energy to have.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Weird thing to say.
I don't give a shit if people are like, wow, you're like, why did you have to get so intense about that? Why did you go 0 to 100 so quickly? Why don't you, like, I can tell people to take a chill pill on reading books, okay? I love reading books. We don't all have to read 50 million books a year. The pressure that there is to read 50 million books a year, relax. But when it comes to the female experience, I simply won't relax.
No, I won't
relax about it. And if I get worked up about it, I'm going to be worked up about it. Am I on my period right now? Absolutely.
Also, me too.
I'm glad that it amplifies it because some weeks I don't have the same oomph to get out there and be like, actually, you know what? Yeah, fuck you. And I look back and I'm like, damn, I should have told them to suck my little dick and balls.
Yeah. Suck my little ass. Eat my little ass.
And when I'm on my period, I feel feistier and I take advantage of that.
Yeah. I mean,
because
I
don't think
feel
women
feisty.
Yes, I love that from you.
But like when I'm on my period,
I admire it.
I'm angry. I'm mad.
I agree. And I think women should be.
We have every right to be.
I think you can have a balance of like, Dylan is one of the best men I've ever met in my life, and I'm so glad that I found him. But I can still be angry for women and stand up for women. So when women are like, I'm not a feminist, excuse the fuck out of me.
Fine, you're not a feminist. Come here, catch these fucking hands. Catch these feminist fists,
catch these hands.
Makes me so
That's crazy.
Makes me crazy. So mad. It's just such a weird energy to bring to the table. Like, can you imagine if a man, like, you don't ever hear men saying like, No, I actually don't think that I deserve the same rights as my wife. You hear them saying the other way around, like, yeah, I think that my wife shouldn't be able to vote. I think that I should be the leader of the household. Tell me your kid's birthday. Are they allergic to peanuts? Yes or no? What doctor do they go to? Who's their pediatrician? What school do they go to?
Do you know how women get pregnant? Do you know how childbirth happens? Do you know what a period is? Do you know what a tampon is?
How many tampons does a woman use in their cycle? How long does a cycle last? What's the difference between...
I saw a thing, and I think it was Meryl Streep. She was in an interview, and she was talking about how women have spent hundreds of years learning to understand men as caretakers, as homemakers, X, Y, and Z. That is why I do feel like I definitely understand men. I 100% feel like I understand men.
They're also like not hard creatures to understand.
Like, I feel like I could if a man wanted to talk to me about some type of emotions, X, Y, and Z, like a basic man, like not somebody that has like significant emotional intelligence, even then, but like even just the basics, I'd be like, yeah, no, I can understand. I can hear you. I can have empathy for you, blah, blah, blah. Men can't do that.
Mm-mm.
For the most part.
No.
I'm so glad that I feel like I found one that can. For the most part.
But even the smartest, most emotionally intelligent men don't fully get it.
They were not taught from, like, it's just not like taught. It's not taught in schools. It's not taught as from childhood the same way that it's taught for women.
Right. And when does the cultural shift of, it's just so common for us to be like growing up, at least, well, girls just mature faster than boys. A girl starts walking before, like a girl child baby starts walking before a boy child baby. And it's like, oh, well, girls are just, they're naturally just faster learners. They're just naturally more mature in elementary school. They're just more mature in middle school. Oh, you know, he's mean to you because he likes you. Toxic, by the way. High school. Well, girls are just so much more mature. You know, boys will be boys. That's just how they act. They grow out of it. And college. Have you ever met a frat guy? Worst dude known to man.
Worst man you've ever met.
Worst man you've ever fucking met. Women are fucking normal. So I'm just wondering, like, when the shift happens that men are so emotionally, they're just like so logical, and they're the only one that can be leaders because women are too emotional. We think too much with our heads or too much with our hearts and not our heads.
Literally, men know how to get things done, and that's why they are the natural,
they're
biologically born leaders. Right. So they were rubbing shit on the walls when women were learning as girls to take care of a household.
Like, when does that shift happen? Can you tell me when exactly, what age men just become a natural born leader? And again, back
is it
to
70? Is that why all the men
fucking
leading the country are 80?
Is that why they're once they have to start taking that
dries
little
up
pill,
into powder?
Yeah, literally. They start taking Viagra. Is that when they get mature? Because, like, quite frankly, to be honest, Donald Trump and what's his name? Biden didn't really seem like the best leaders that I've ever met.
Nope.
You guys knew Jill Biden? That bitch knew what was going on every day. What's Trump's wife's name? Melania?
Melania.
She hates that motherfucker. I would trust her more than like why are we letting men do things?
No, literally.
I've had enough. We need to put a stop to it. So what you guys should
Somehow
do is
this
drop
episode-
a comment. You should drop a little pink heart, right? You know, the one with the yellow sparkles on it. Drop that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to build a revolution together. And we're just going to overthrow the men because I've quite frankly had enough.
Yeah, because we're pulling a Les Mis. We're going to start singing, do you hear the people sing? The people is me.
The people is me.
It's me on my period.
Literally.
This episode was supposed to be like hey, it's relaxed.
We can be calm.
We can be calm. And then we got so not calm.
We're not calm.
It's okay. I would say it was maybe half and half.
Yeah. Because you can be calm about something. Women are allowed to do whatever they want, first and foremost. So If you're a woman, I support you no matter what
and
you're
you
doing.
know what? If you're a woman who reads 70 million books a year and then you DNF 90% of them, I support you.
I've changed my stance. I don't think you're lying, and I support you. If you're a man who's doing fucking anything, bye.
Eat glass.
Eat glass. Eat glass.
Eat glass.
Ew, David.
So, yeah.
So that's that.
Thanks for coming to book club.
Sorry, oh God, so crazy.
In 2 weeks, we'll be ovulating. So Shirley will be talking. Maddie and I are on the same cycle. So Shirley will be talking about the Bat Boys and
and we'll probably have finished Kingdom of Ash by then. So we'll probably be on our knees sucking Rowan Whitethorn's dick in the next episode because we're fucking crazy.
So get on with that.
You know,
thanks for coming to book club.
Thanks for
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok if you want more, whatever that last hour was. And subscribe to our new YouTube channel where we don't talk about shit like this as much. So it's maybe normal. A little more chill. It's pretty normal.
This is like the unhinged side. This is after dark, if you will.
Yeah, book club after dark where we get angry.
Where we get crazy.
What kind of crazy? Fire. You never know. You never know.
Never know.
Anyways, so thanks for watching. See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Love ya.
Love ya.